There's a moment in everyone's life, when the world says stop, when the weight feels too heavy, the path too long, the dream too far away, and most people, they listen, they slow down, they give up quietly, telling themselves, maybe it wasn't meant to be. But a very few, keep going. Even when it hurts. Even when it makes no sense. Even when every voice inside their head screams, enough. Those people aren't superhuman, they've just learned something most of us haven't. How to become unstoppable. To understand what makes someone unstoppable, you have to understand the mind, because it's not muscle that keeps you moving, it's meaning. Your brain has one goal: to protect you, to conserve energy, to avoid pain. That's why it whispers, you can't. That's why it tempts you to rest when you should rise. It's called homeostasis, your brain's way of keeping everything comfortable, familiar, safe. But safe is not alive. Psychologically, the moment you step into discomfort, your brain interprets it as danger. Cortisol rises, fear activates, your amygdala, the survival center, begins to take control, and that's the battle most people lose. Not because they're weak, but because they don't know what's happening inside them. You can't fight what you don't understand. But here's the science. If you stay in that discomfort, if you breathe through it instead of fleeing, your brain begins to recode the experience. Neurons in the prefrontal cortex light up, signaling safety despite the stress. And slowly, you train your mind to see fear not as danger, but as data. That's how resilience is built. One uncomfortable moment at a time. Unstoppable people don't feel less fear. They've simply learned to move with it, because fear and progress are two sides of the same coin. You can't grow without uncertainty. You can't change without risk. And yet, most of us spend our lives waiting to feel ready. But readiness is an illusion. The mind never feels ready for what threatens its comfort. You only feel ready after you begin. That's the paradox of progress. Action precedes confidence, not doubts. No run needs jolt and doubts in Sanding. Conding dat stein. The science of becoming unstoppable is the science of rewiring your mind for persistence. Neuroscientists call it dopaminergic motivation, the drive system that rewards progress, not results. Every small step forward, every bit of effort, releases a chemical signal, dopamine. That's not happiness. It's pursuit. It's your brain's way of saying, keep going, this matters. But when you chase perfection, you short-circuit the system. You block the reward loop, and your motivation dies. So the secret isn't to aim for the impossible, it's to fall in love with the process. Because progress, not success, is what keeps the human spirit alive. Every unstoppable person understands something fundamental: the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is emotion. It rises and falls like weather. It depends on how you feel. Discipline is choice. It lives beneath emotion. It acts despite it. When you build discipline, you free yourself from mood. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You do what needs to be done, not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. That's not coldness. That's mastery. But even discipline has a secret. It's not built through punishment, it's built through identity. Your brain always acts in alignment with the story you believe about yourself. If you tell yourself, I'm lazy, your subconscious obeys. If you say, I'm the kind of person who finishes things, your actions follow that identity. Psychologists call this self-concept congruence. Your behavior mirrors your beliefs, so the key isn't to force yourself, it's to change your self-definition. Stop asking, can I do this? Start saying, I'm the kind of person who does. That's how you reprogram the voice in your head. That's how you become unstoppable, from the inside out. But even unstoppable minds break sometimes. They fail. They fall apart. They lose faith. And that's okay. Because the science of resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about what happens after. Every setback triggers the same neurological process, the error correction mechanism. Your brain scans for patterns, asking, what went wrong? If you respond with shame, you stop the learning loop. But if you respond with curiosity, you keep the circuit open. Failure, seen through the right lens, becomes feedback, and feedback is evolution. Those who understand how to be relentless in life use the 2-millimeter rule. They're able to constantly push themselves because they know that the next level of excellence is closer than it appears. Where most people would give up, they draw on inner strength and find that extra burst of drive that gets them to that next level. And then they keep going. Belief is what keeps you going when you're exhausted, drained, and running on empty. You feel like you've tried everything, you've given it your all, maybe it's just not meant to be. Learning how to be relentless in life is about eliminating those thoughts. It's about knowing, without a doubt, that you can reach those next 2 millimeters, and you will, no matter what. This is what really sets apart the great from the good, the excellent from the ordinary. Strong self-belief comes from finding your purpose. When you stop living others' dreams and discover your own vision for your life, you'll uncover the drive to be better, do more, and never stop achieving. You'll be unstoppable. To become unstoppable, you must fall in love with the climb, not the view, not the praise, the climb, because success isn't built on giant leaps, it's built on microscopic movements repeated endlessly, each repetition, a vote for the person you're becoming. That's the hidden science of momentum. It's not about power, it's about direction, 1,000 small corrections, guided by purpose. Every person you admire, every story that inspired you, was written by someone who refused to stop. Not because then they because they never doubted, but because they moved even when they did. That's the line that separates potential from power. The moment you act, when it would have been easier not to. That's where change happens. That's where you become something your old self never believed possible. Belief is the first step, but to be unstoppable, you'll need to refine your mindset even more. Some people crack under pressure like glass, others turn into diamonds. Top athletes and business people can take an incredible amount of pressure. The difference is in their mindset. Start with your self-talk. You've reached that point just before the 2-millimeter mark where you want to give up. How do you frame this in your mind? Listen to your inner monologue. Catch any negative thoughts, which are a product of your limiting beliefs, and replace them with empowering ones. Next, learn how to control your emotions. Warren Buffett once said, "If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your money. You also cannot control your ego, your actions, or your destiny. You cannot be unstoppable when your emotions are slowing you down. Understand that you are the only one responsible for your life, and that life is happening for you, not to you. Forget the past, forgive others, eliminate jealousy and replace it with gratitude. As Tony says, every day stand guard at the door of your mind, and you alone decide what thoughts and beliefs you let into your life. If you do this, you're on your way to being unstoppable. Focus your power. You've unlocked the power of your mind. Now you must focus it. Tony tells us, one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. Those who discover how to be relentless in life have a singular focus. They have a vision, and they have goals to get there, and nothing gets in their way. Unstoppable isn't about being fearless, it's about being brave enough to move even when fear screams in your ear. It's about choosing progress over perfection, effort over ease, purpose over comfort. It's about realizing that the limits you feel aren't walls, they're mirrors, reflections of belief. Change the story, and the walls disappear. You were never meant to stay still. You were born to move, to grow, to fail, to rise, to become. So keep going. Not because it's easy, not because it's certain, but because it's yours. The science of becoming unstoppable isn't written in books. It's written in you, every time you refuse to stop. Mind scripted. Understand your mind, and nothing can stop you.